Our beginning equation is tangent square x over sine square x minus 1 equals tangent squared x. Tangent squared x over sine squared x is the same thing as tangent squared x times 1 over sine squared x. So then you're left with the equation tangent squared x times 1 over sine squared x minus 1 equals tangent squared x. Tangent squared x is equal to sine squared x over cosine squared x. So you can replace the tangent squared x with a sine squared x over a cosine squared x. Since you have sine squared x over cosine squared x times 1 over sine squared x, you can cancel out the sine squared x's and you're left with 1 over cosine squared x minus 1 equals tangent squared x. In order to subtract 1 from cosine squared x, you have to change your 1 into a cosine squared x over a cosine squared x. You combine the 1 over cosine squared x minus cosine squared x over cosine squared x, and you're left with 1 minus cosine squared x over cosine squared x. Since 1 minus cosine squared x is the same as sine squared x, you can replace the 1 minus cosine squared x in the numerator with a sine squared x. Now you're left with sine squared x over cosine squared x equals tangent squared x. Since tangent squared x equals sine squared x over cosine squared x, you can replace the sine squared x over cosine squared x with a tangent squared x, and you're left with tangent squared x equals tangent squared x.